Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, that's right, the one and only RealWildRose. Welcome back to another YouTube videos. And for today's video is, we are going to react on some 7 most powerful nuclear explosion ever caught on camera. So before we start reacting, of course, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you have it, of course. And so let's go and watch.
This device could instantly set the entire planet on fire. At least that was exactly what its makers were afraid of. But even despite these suspicions, on July 16th, 1945, they unleashed the nuclear demon.
Oh my god. That is...
The first detonation of an atomic bomb named Trinity was so powerful that a huge fiery mushroom cloud higher than Everest rose above the New Mexico desert. And since the worst fears were not confirmed and all hell didn't break loose, humans decided that they tamed the nuclear demon. But that was only an illusion. In this video, we'll find out, how did an underground explosion affect outer space? What atomic test was so powerful that it was dubbed a second Hiroshima? And most importantly, what nuclear test turned out to be exceptionally destructive to the great surprise of even military services?
Whoa. The nuclear demon breaks the surface.
Bright and luminous Las Vegas dazzled its guests even 75 years ago. But just 100 kilometers away, there was the Nevada test site where flashes of light could literally make you go blind. Starting from the 50s, the military conducted around 1,000 nuclear tests there. In 1957, they thought it was time to try something new, to blow up underground layers of Earth. As part of the Pascal A test, in a mine at a depth of 150 meters, they installed a bomb weighing just 29 kilograms and containing less than a kilogram of TNT. By military standards, that's a pretty small thing. Scientists expected that all the explosion energy would stay in the mine tunnel, but the nuclear demon wasn't going to be cooped up. A pillar of flame dozens of meters high burst out of the ground. It happened because, for some reason, the real power of the bomb was 55 tons. In other words, 50,000 times greater than the developers had predicted. That's like intending to celebrate the 4th of July by setting off a firecracker and watching it destroy the whole city. But even after such a vicious prank pulled by the nuclear genie, the military insisted on a retest that was called Pascal B. Only this time, the mine exit was sealed with an iron 90-kilogram cap. That one would definitely withstand any blast wave. No need to worry. That's what scientists thought, and they were wrong. The explosion struck the cap with a yield of 300 tons and knocked it out at an unbelievable speed of 66 kilometers per second. This is 6 times higher than the escape velocity of the Apollo program rockets launched a decade later. Actually, that cap could have become the first object to travel into space on behalf of the US in 1957. But, of course, it just probably vanished into the atmosphere. Meanwhile, the released nuclear demon was only warming up on American soil.
Nuclear nightmare.
This piece of paradise is Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands, although only a madman would want to spend a vacation there in the late 40s. That's because the U.S. military carried out almost 24 devastating nuclear tests in this region. In July 1946, as a part of the Baker nuclear test, a fleet of 90 target ships was assembled off Bikini Atoll to study the consequences of an atomic blast at sea. The bomb was attached to the bottom of a landing ship and lowered to a depth of 27 meters. The explosive yield of 3 kilotons blew the ship into atoms and created a water column as high as 2.5 Burj Khalifa towers. And when hundreds of tons of water collapsed down, they triggered a tsunami that claimed 9 target ships. However, the rest of them were even less fortunate. The nuclear demon showered so much radiation on the remaining fleet that all the ships had to be sunk. But the military guys were rather excited. 6 years later, on the neighboring Atoll, they built an evil device able to greatly increase the nuclear demon's power. They tested it on November 1st, 1952. The test, codenamed Ivy Mike, released 10.5 megatons of destructive energy, which equals 400 Baker tests. That was the first American thermonuclear bomb in history, in which the energy that appears as a result of nuclear decay sources fusion and creates even more destructive and deadly force. That was why the mushroom cloud of the Ivy Mike boiled up to 37 kilometers into the skies, which is nearly as high as 2 Manhattan Islands. The monstrous power almost literally evaporated the atoll and contaminated the surrounding area 56 kilometers in diameter with nuclear fallout. The military sent 3 planes to the dangerous cloud to get air samples for further studies. One of them never returned. The nuclear demon devoured Captain Jimmy Robinson without a trace. The pilot is still considered missing. The other planes came back to the base with samples that revealed to the world 2 new chemical elements, einsteinium and fermium. In the meantime, another nuclear demon was gaining strength halfway around the globe, and this one was much more dangerous.
Oh my god, the red monster.
Looks like a lunar landscape. However, this place is situated here on Earth. To be more precise, that's the Semipalatinsk test site in Kazakhstan, the former Soviet Republic. In 1955, the Soviet military
By
decided
the way,
to
ladies and
demonstrate
gentlemen,
their
if you're
new
hearing some
destructive
noise
supremacy
background,
of the world
well,
with
it's
the
just
help
because
of their
the car, some
RDS-37
vehicles,
hydrogen
you know,
bomb. On the appointed day, a
passing by.
Tu-16 bomber took it to the height of 12 kilometers above the ground when
What?
suddenly
Yo,
the radar
12
equipment
kilometers.
failed and the sky
Jeez.
became cloudy. The Soviets first wanted to randomly drop the bomb somewhere in the mountains, but changed their minds at the last minute. That's why Major Fyodor Golovashko had to make a first-ever emergency landing with a fully armed thermonuclear bomb aboard. Ignoring all the bad omens, the military anyway set off RDS-37 2 days later. The mushroom cloud rose 12 kilometers above the ground. This is higher than most passenger liners can get. And although that was a medium-power explosion with a yield of 1.6 megatons, the shockwave unexpectedly damaged buildings within 200 kilometers. The Soviets were already imagining how their nuclear demon would wipe all large American cities along with suburbs off the face of the earth. But even that amount of power didn't seem to satisfy them. On October 30th, 1961, on the Arctic island of Novaya Zemlya, a Tupolev Tu-95 bomber took off carrying the most powerful bomb in history, the 27-ton Tsar Bomba. If the plane dropped it like usual, it would simply have no time to fly a safe distance away and would have been ripped apart by the thermonuclear demon. To give the pilots a head start, the Tsar Bomba was dropped on a parachute, and when it descended to 4 kilometers above the ground, a new sun erupted over Novaya Zemlya. The Tsar Bomba yielded around 58 megatons, an absolute
58?
record. It was 4
My
times
God,
more
that's actually
powerful
crazy.
than any warhead before or after it. The blast could be seen even in Greenland or Alaska, 1,000 kilometers away from the location. The Tsar mushroom reached the height of 65 kilometers. It covered more than half the distance separating our planet's surface from outer space. And the seismic wave produced by the blast circled our planet 3 times. If the Soviets had Tsar bombed the west coast of the United States, this would have evaporated the region's biggest cities and caused massive earthquakes all around the country. But the Americans weren't intimidated by the threat since they had already pumped steroids into their own nuclear beast. On March 1st, 1954, under Operation Castle, the U.S. military carried out the notorious Castle Bravo nuclear test that left behind well-known consequences. Scientists had estimated that the power of the device would equal 6 megatons, no more than that. But the thermonuclear demon had other plans. The Castle Bravo detonation released more than twice as much energy, 15 megatons, unprecedented for the
50
US.
megatons.
That's because lithium deuteride, which was
Lithium
supposed to
and
slow down
hydrogen.
the thermonuclear reaction, suddenly fueled it. As a result, the fireball of
Wow.
Castle Bravo spread more than 7
Oh
kilometers
my
around.
god, that is a
This
crazy
death circle
thing.
could easily fit 2.5 Golden Gate bridges. The mushroom cloud rose 40 kilometers up and 100 kilometers wide. But the worst
100
thing was that the
kilometers
Castle
wide?
Bravo explosion defaced vast coral
God, that is
reefs,
so
and the
huge.
fallout escaped way beyond the test
Oh my
area.
God, you're the
Without knowing it, 23 Japanese fishermen aboard the Diogo Fukuryu Maru fishing boat became victims of the test. They were diagnosed
no.
with radiation poisoning. As a result, one of them
Radiation.
died,
Radiation
and the
is
others
really
spent the rest
dangerous.
of their lives suffering from it. Journalists immediately labeled the Castle Bravo blast a second Hiroshima, and the
my-
United States had to pay $15 million of compensation to the Japanese government. Despite this, just 2 months after the nuclear disaster, the military conducted the Castle Yankee test on the same atolls with the same atomic bomb. The explosion yield matched that of Castle Bravo,
Yo.
13.5 megatons. And this time, the thermonuclear demon didn't stop in the
13.5.
Pacific Ocean only.
That
In
is-
just 4 days, radioactive fallout hit Mexico and western United States. Speaking of the Marshall Islands, even 65 years after the test, measurements of plutonium in the environment are 1,000 times higher than those of the Chernobyl power plant. The nuclear
1,000
weapons states
times?
realized there was
That
no
is
way to
crazy.
tame this beast. Our planet was at risk even without a fully fledged nuclear war. Anti-nuclear protests took place all around the world. And finally, in 1963, the US, the UK, and the USSR signed a treaty prohibiting all test detonations of nukes on the surface. This treaty remains in force. And yet, studying archives of the
Oh my
atomic
God.
age, apart from records dedicated to dangerous, destructive tests, we can also find downright
that is pretty
ridiculous
scary, to
chronicles.
be honest.
Check this video. 5 U.S. Army officers are standing right in the epicenter of nuclear testing. Do you think the blast wave is about to blow them to pieces? You'll be surprised. The thing is, a bomb yielding only 2 kilotons of explosive energy was set off 5.6 kilometers above the ground. The layer of the atmosphere protected the officers from any harmful effects except for the flash. If nuclear tests
Ew,
were
I feel
banned,
bad for
would
Mother
you
Earth.
agree to participate in such a
Because
photo
they're not
shoot?
just killing people, but they're also like a bit destroying, our Earth. But I'm glad that, they don't usually use nuke anymore, because that is pretty scary actually. So, thank you by the way, ladies and gentlemen, for watching today's videos. I'll be seeing you on my next YouTube videos. So don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you haven't, of course. So, bye!